Welcome back to Northwestern Outdoors Radio. I'm John Kruse. We're broadcasting from the Tri-City Sportsman Show today, and we're checking in with my old friend Scott Miller. He is the owner of Miller Ranch, located near Sprague, Washington. It's about 45 minutes southwest of Spokane. Scott, great to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me, John.
Well, I always love talking to you around this time of year because most hunters are like, dang it, pheasant season's over, upland bird season's over, but at Miller Ranch, it's not over at all, is it?
Nope, we're still going heavy. We go all the way to April. We've had a real open winter, so the weather hasn't affected us too much. Real busy right now.
As a matter of fact, this seems to be about the mildest winter I've seen in the Northwest for maybe 20 years. Has that changed how hunting has gone at the ranch?
It definitely has changed. We don't have snow that knocks all of our cover down, and a lot of people don't like to hunt in heavy snow. Little snow's good, but heavy snow's not that good. But it's been so open right now that it's been great. We've been busy.
Well, let's talk about what a typical hunt looks like, because you have accommodations that are very affordable. So we're going to talk to some of our listeners who are not necessarily from Spokane or Moses Lake that are driving over for the day, but listeners who maybe want to make a weekend of it. So they're going to show up, or I should say a 2-day event of it. They're going to show up the night before, and what's going to happen there?
We show up the night before. You can come in and shoot that afternoon or do sporting clays or whatever you like. Then we normally get up in the morning. We'll do a morning hunt, then an afternoon hunt, and then again you stay over night with us, and on Sunday morning you do another hunt, and then you depart.
Is this a package that you offer, or is it all kind of a la carte in terms of the accommodations cost this much and the hunts cost this much?
You know, it's mostly a la carte. You can put together whatever you want to do. So everything you just add on to it, or whatever you want to do, we'll accommodate you.
All right, well, let's back up a little bit, because when it comes to your ranch, let's talk about how big it is. And one thing that really differentiates your ranch from a lot of other pheasant preserves I've seen, the terrain, because you've got some really interesting terrain to hunt on.
We do got some unique terrain. It's not just an open CRP field. It's we've got bottoms and coulees, and we've got rock outcroppings that kind of keep fields, keep the birds enclosed in the field so they don't they're not flying all over the place. So it's definitely unique ground. That's kind of our niche.
It really is. And it's part of the channeled scablands, folks. It's really a beautiful area to not just hunt, but just to hike through, period. How big is your ranch, and how much land are folks actually hunting on?
The ranch is actually about 15,000 acres, but we have about 1,000 acres that we hunt our preserved birds on.
Groups that come in, is it just 2 groups at a time maximum?
No, actually we've got about 6 fields, so we can run quite a few groups at one time, and we can actually spread out a little more. You're never hunting with anybody except for the people that are in your party. You're never in a field with anybody you don't know, so everything's pretty controlled and safe.
Birds and dogs. Let's start off with the birds, because not all pen-raised birds are created equal in terms of the hunting experience.
That's very true. The birds that we are getting are from the Midwest. They're from Janesville, Wisconsin, and they are about as good a pen-raised bird that you're ever going to find. And that's another one of our niches. We have a reputation for having hard-flying wild birds.
Let's talk about dogs. Do most of your clients bring their own dogs, or are they using your guides and the guides' dogs?
It's about 50-50. A lot of people bring their own dogs in so they can train their own dogs, or you know that native bird hunting in Washington State's pretty slim anymore, so they have some place to bring their dog and at least get them on some birds. But we also have a huge kennel. We have 14 dogs of our own, and so you can come in for a guided hunt with us and do it that way.
When it comes to the accommodations, you've got a couple of cabins there. Why don't you tell our listeners about what that setup looks like, and food arrangements?
We've got 2 cabins. One of them's got 8 beds in it. One of them got 6 beds in it. They're all fully furnished, fully equipped with all the cooking facilities, utensils, bedding, everything. We do not provide food, so you're on your own for bringing your own food and drink, but everything is real accommodating.
And TV to watch some basketball after the hunt?
Absolutely. There's TVs in both cabins. There's hot tubs on each cabin, barbecues. Like I said, they're well equipped.
Sounds fantastic to me. One other question I want to ask you. Your clientele, you're located close to Spokane. Does most of your clientele come from the Spokane area?
Actually, most of our clientele come from the I-5 corridor over in the Seattle, anywhere from the Canadian border all the way down to Portland. We have a great following from Spokane also and North Idaho, but primarily most of our clientele comes from the west side of the state of Washington.
Well, as you heard, folks, wherever you're listening today, whether it be in Idaho or Oregon or Washington, making the trip to Miller Ranch in eastern Washington is probably a trip you want to make if you've got a pheasant itch that you need to scratch before April, because Scott's been doing this a long time. His ranch has got a great reputation, and I think you're really going to enjoy a stay there and a hunt there. The website to find out more is millerranch.com. That's millerranch.com. Contact Scott Miller and book your stay today. Scott, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for sharing this with us on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
John, thank you for having me.
Next up on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we're taking you to Central Washington, where Shuyler Productions has got 2 more shows coming up in the next few weeks. The first one is the Central Washington Sportsman Show, taking place at the Sun Dome in Yakima, February 15th through the 17th. And the second is the Wenatchee Valley Sportsman Show, taking place at the Town Toyota Center, February 22nd through the 24th. With us here to tell you more about both shows is the show producer, Merle Shuyler. Merle, great to have you back on the air.
Thank you, John. Glad to talk to you again as well.
So, Merle, you had a great Tri-City show, lots of happy attendees, lots of happy exhibitors, and now we're on to Yakima and Wenatchee. What are some of the attractions that attendees are going to see at both of these shows?
Well, we had the West Texas Rattlesnake Show come to the Tri-Cities for the first time. It was the first time they've ever been to the state of Washington. And we've also lined them up at Yakima and Wenatchee. They do several performances each day. Very informative, pretty funny at times, and it's well worth seeing if you want to get up close and personal with a rattlesnake.
And you've got to bring the kids, because at both shows you've got a lunker lake where there's all sorts of trout waiting to be caught.
Yeah, there's free fishing all day, every day at Wenatchee. We have local sponsors that pay for the fish, and that allows the kids to fish for free all 3 days. Yakima, that's not the case, but Les Schwab has stepped up, and on Sunday only, which is Kids' Day at both shows, kids can fish free at Yakima, courtesy of Les Schwab. So, yeah, the fish are always biting at Lunker Lake.
And if you've got a big trophy, you should probably bring it in, get it scored at the Northwest Big Game Trophy Antler Display. That's going to be at both shows, too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little different in each show. The Yakima show has the Horn and Antler competition that you actually win prizes, and your animal is put on display. And at Wenatchee, they can be scored by official scores, but it is just a bring it in, score it, and take it home. So if you're ever curious about what your animal might score, deer, elk, mountain goat, whatever, you can bring it in, and the Northwest Big Game people would score the animal, and then you can take it home.
Now, both shows are going to have the fly tying theater again, and that's always well attended, but I understand at the Yakima show you've got a casting pool and a whole lot more when it comes to catering to the fly anglers, probably because you got the Yakima River right there.
Yeah, Red Fly Shop, they'll have a booth this year. Paul from Fly Fishing Strategies in the Dalles, Oregon, will be there doing casting demonstrations as well. And not only that, we have what's called the trout races. If you've never seen it, it's quite entertaining. We do that in the casting pool. And then we have a casting contest at Yakima on the dry end of the pool for kids. So the casting pool is kind of the center of activity at the Yakima show, and it can be quite entertaining as well.
And another activity that's taking place at the Wenatchee show, not the Yakima, but the Wenatchee show, is Camp Cooking with Richie Herod. I understand that his presentations were very popular in the Tri-Cities.
Yeah, he's first time he'd done the Tri-Cities. Butch Welch, who had done for years my Dutch oven cooking at the Tri-Cities, retired. I met Richie last year at Wenatchee. Very personal guy, definitely knows what he's doing, has his own TV show on cooking, and lined him up, and it went well at the Tri-Cities. And I believe he's from Leavenworth area, so he's fairly local for Wenatchee, and he's agreed to do some cooking demonstrations at Wenatchee as well.
He is indeed a personable guy. He's a great guy. He is from Leavenworth, and his television show airs, on the big ones like the Pursuit Channel, but also on the local Wenatchee station, NCW Life Channel. So, yes, a lot of folks in Wenatchee will recognize Richie. We've got to go, but folks, the dates for these shows, again, being put on by Shuyler Productions, February 15th through the 17th at the Sun Dome for the Central Washington Sportsman Show, and the Wenatchee Valley Sportsman Show, February 22nd through the 24th at the Town Toyota Center. As you just heard, lots to see, lots to do. We didn't even mention all the great seminars and all the great exhibitors that will be at both shows. So come prepared for some adventures. Come prepared to learn about fishing, hunting, camp cooking, and more. Merle, always a pleasure to talk to you on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
You too, John. Thanks a lot.
Sportsman's Warehouse is America's premier outfitter and has the quality gear you need for hunting, fishing, camping, and more. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff will help you find the right products so you get the most out of your time in the field or on the water. In addition to stocking superior clothing and outdoor equipment, we offer in-store events and seminars so you can enjoy a successful adventure. With over 70 stores located in the United States, it's easy to find a Sportsman's Warehouse store near you. Find out more at sportsmanswarehouse.com.
We've got time for one more shot of Northwestern Outdoors Radio with John Kruse.
Hey, I'm glad you're back because we've got a couple more shows to tell you about coming up in the next couple of weeks here in the Northwest. The first one is the Fly Fishing Show. If you are a fly angler, no matter what your experience level, you'll want to be at this one, February 16th and 17th at the Linwood Convention Center in Linwood, Washington. Find out more at flyfishingshow.com. If you're a saltwater angler, the place to be is the Saltwater Sportsman Show. This one's February 23rd and the 24th in Salem at the fairgrounds. The seminar lineup is very impressive. You'll learn how to be a better tuna, salmon, or halibut angler, and be sure to check out the exhibitors who are all about fishing and boating in the saltwater off the Oregon and Washington coast. This has been a fast-growing show, so if you were there maybe a few years ago, thought it was a little show, you need to go back because it's gotten a lot bigger. The website for this one, saltwatersportsmanshow.com. There's a couple of other shows going on that same weekend. They include the Great Rocky Show in Helena, Montana. That one is at the fairgrounds, and it's the last stop for the Great Rocky Show this year. And there is Joe Pate's Exposure Shows, Sportsman's and Outdoor Rec Show at the Jackson County Expo Center in Medford, Oregon. This one's always a big hit for Southern Oregon residents. And now it's time for your Sportsman's Warehouse Trivia Question of the Week. There are several national refuges named for the animals they are meant to protect in the greater Northwest. In Southeast Oregon, you'll find the Heart Mountain National Antelope Refuge. In western Wyoming, there is the National Elk Refuge. And in western Montana, not far from Missoula, there is a national range that is home to one of the West's most iconic big game animals. Do you know the name of this national range? If you do, you can contact us through our website at northwesternoutdoors.com. Just go to the Contact Us page or go to our Facebook page at Northwestern Outdoors Radio. One lucky person who guesses right will win the $25 gift card we give away every week from Sportsman's Warehouse. I've got to get back to work at the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show at the Expo Center in Portland. This huge show, like I said at the beginning, runs through Sunday, and I hope you'll not only attend, but stop by our booth and sign up for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate from Max Lures and a bonus Striker backcountry stove from Camp Chef we are also giving away. One lucky winner is going to win both of these prizes at the end of the show. And no, you don't have to be present when we draw to win. We'll mail them your way. Until next time, take care, God bless, and make it a point to spend some time outdoors.